Don't touch that dial. Shawna and LaLa.
You're listening to Shawna and LaLa, and right now we have one of our favorite comedians, Anthony Rodia, on the show today. Hello.
How are you guys?
Good. So you and your team are coming to Middletown, which is like right in our backyard. Literally, you are performing a drive-in show. So it's going to be a little bit different, I think, than what you're normally used to.
Yeah, I've never been to a drive-in movie, performed at one. So I don't know. I did when the pandemic hit, when it started, we did like parking lot shows where people would be in their cars. And it was different. I mean, some of them thought that beeping the horn was the same as laughing.
Oh, no.
So we had to pretty much tell them that's not the same. Little different trying to talk with a horn going off. But this is going to be a little more, I guess, advanced. They've got a huge screen, as I understand it. So, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not opposed to different, whatever works right now, whatever we're able to do to make people laugh.
Yeah. That's what we need right now.
Yes.
We really do.
Yeah.
I have not been there, so I don't know much about it. I've never been to a drive-in movie.
I have. It's pretty cool. It's like you see in the movie theaters, or in movies, I should say. You drive in, you park, and then you could hook your radio up to whatever movie you're watching. So they'll give you go to 98 point whatever, and then you can hear everything like loud in your car. So
that's cool. Well,
yeah.
I mean, the good thing about that is at least you won't have to worry about some people talking or
yes,
where you can't hear the show, because there's sometimes we'll do a show and I'll just stop right in the show and I'll just stare at a table and I'm like, you guys could have just went to a restaurant if you wanted to have a conversation. We don't get it often, but we get people where I would make them laugh and then all of a sudden I literally hear them talking about how that scenario I just spoke about on stage happened in their real life, and I'm like, guys, no, I know it's relatable. Can you just wait till and you'll hear them. I in Chicago this weekend, some lady goes, "Oh my God, remember when Aunt Susie sat at the table?" And I'm like, "Hey, no one else knows your Aunt Susie." She's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, I forgot I was in here." Oh, okay. You forgot 400 people were around you.
yeah,
You might have to go get that checked out. So at least you won't have that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it should be pretty cool.
Yeah. So we are excited to see you and experience a comedy show drive-in.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I can tell you it's different than what you see online. A lot of people, they come they come to the shows, and whoever's working at the theater or the venue, they'll always tell me backstage that, like, a lot of people are asking if you're coming out as your characters. I'm like, no.
How are you going to do that?
I'm like, for one, I promised my 5-year-old daughter I wouldn't come out of the house in the house dress that I wear. And number two, I said, there's a lot of social media pages that, not that there's anything wrong with it. They choose to do it, but they'll perform live and literally recreate exactly what you watch online, just live.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But me personally, I wouldn't want to charge somebody money to come out of their house and watch exactly what they've watched online just live, because it's like, all right, well, number one, I want to give you something different. And number two, those videos, those are for you to enjoy at home when you're with your family. This is going to be, stand up. It's not going to be a play or anything like that. And the characters actually forced me to have to be funnier on stage. It's kind of weird saying it. Like, they're like, "Oh, you're funnier than your uncle and aunt, who's also you." I'm like, "Yeah, well, that makes me kind of feel schizophrenic." And I'll come home from a show, and my wife's like, "Were you funnier than your uncle and aunt?" I'm like, are you on this bandwagon also? Can you stop referring? It's bad enough when I refer to them as different people. I'm like, "Babe, have you seen Zia Lucia's dress? I have to do a video." And she's like, "Why don't you just order another one on Amazon?" And then my daughter will look at me and go, "You're ordering dresses on Amazon?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, this has gotten to that point where
you got multiple personality."
Yeah. Oh, I have multiple is not even the word. I think
right.
Multiple is a huge understatement. But yeah, it's totally different than what you see online. I think it's more relatable. It's about, just basically things that everybody deals with on an everyday basis, family growing up, family now. And, the reactions and the responses have been, almost, I've been taken back a little by it.
Yeah.
We love you. And it's funny because, I'm an Italian American. Shawna, she's Polish. But even though she's not Italian, like, she can relate. It's just crazy how we can all relate to different things, even if we're different, cultures. And I love that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I'm so glad you said that, because the first time I started doing shows, and people came up to me after the show for the meet and greets, they would say, "Oh my God, my family's just like that." I'm like, "Oh my God, thank God! I thought my family was the only one that needed help." Because when you grow up, you're like, "My family's screwed up.
They're crazy."
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Functional, and someone needs to come to the house and take us away. And then I started doing shows more and more where people came to me, and I realized it's not just Italian.
No.
Like, I don't want to be labeled the Italian, community, because it's off the boat in general. If you come from, whether your parents were immigrants or your grandparents or even your great-grandparents, that old school kind of mentality has trickled down where you'll relate to it. And it doesn't matter what nationality you are, doesn't matter what kind of culture you grew up in. If they were from the other side, I think once they cross overseas, something happens to their brain.
Yeah.
And they all act exactly the same. It's scary.
It's in the water.
And it's funny, I'll have people approach me, and you could tell. I mean, I had a Spanish guy in Chicago come up to me. He was like, "Before I talk, I'm not Italian." I'm like, no, I got that from your accent. And you don't look Italian. He goes, "But my parents, they hit me. Oh, they hit me." I go, "All right, well, this is not a child abuse group session. Is there something you want to get off your chest?" So it's so funny. They'll approach me and they'll make it a point to tell me they're not Italian, but they still love the show. And I go, no, you don't. It's not a prerequisite.
Yeah.
You don't have to come in with your Italian ID and then you're allowed in. I mean, everybody is welcome. It's funny. It's funny, and it's nice. It's nice to see that so many of us were raised exactly the same.
Yeah.
And then when you go to the shows, you'll see at times that I'll have 3 generations sitting together. I'll have 20-year-old kids with their parents and their grandparents all laughing at the same show. And when you think of how hard that is to have 3 different generations laughing at the same humor,
Yes.
it's definitely nice to see.
Now, does your daughter ever get to go to watch your shows?
Oh yeah, I'm a fully dysfunctional parent. I don't just play one online. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, she'll come. And listen, I curse on stage. There's cursing here and there. I try to do it tastefully.
Yeah.
I always feel like if you curse and it's done where it's part of the story and it's not just cursing for no reason, it's fine. But listen, she hears it at home. I
Exactly.
mean, people, do you argue in front of your kids? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our parents did.
What you think it's better if hey, Gabriella, real quick, can you go upstairs and just stay in there until the noise downstairs stops and mommy and daddy start speaking no, because then by the time I bring her upstairs, I'm not even mad anymore. I just calm myself down by accident. And sometimes I'm sorry. I like to argue. I like to get it out.
Yeah.
You want me to have a bunker in my basement? They come down, they go into the bomb shelter, I close it, and then I go upstairs and argue? I mean, who's able in the heat of the moment to make sure the kids aren't around?
I know.
Yeah.
I used to play in the living room. My parents used to go at it. I just put my shoulder. I'm like, all right, well, it's Friday night.
Normal day.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. I hate when people act like, my God, your daughter watches your videos? Yeah, she's my biggest critic. She's like, Daddy, I think you should have did this differently. I'm like, all right, Spielberg. Thank you. Thank you for the hit. But she'll come to some of my shows. She'll either sit backstage. She loves to hear the crowd. She loves to hear. She's so adorable with this now, where she knows Daddy does this for a living. So I'll come backstage. I'm like, "What'd you think?" She was like, "That was loud. They love you."
Aww.
And then I don't know if she speaks to my wife, but then she'll go, "Daddy, do you think they laugh because they think they have to, like mommy when you talk?" I'm like, "This is probably one of the last shows you and your mother could ever come to." I don't appreciate the hit to my self-esteem. But she's awesome, and my son will sit home and grab the phone and watch all my videos on YouTube. It's pretty cool to see them knowing, what I do for a living.
Yeah.
I think they'll be well-rounded from it too, you know.
Absolutely.
One thing my daughter has is tough skin.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so funny because she forgets that not everyone is raised this way. So she'll go to school and then a kid will be kind of messing with her. And she's like, "Are you being serious? You just busted my chops." And the teacher's like, "Thank God you taught her chops and not the B
Not
word."
the ball.
I'm like, "No, she'll say the B word home. She just won't say it at school."
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look at all of us. I say it on stage all the time. It's not a coincidence that 95% of us were raised the same. Like, you know, like if I have 400 people on my show, 350, 370 were raised exactly the same. I said, it's not a coincidence that we all also have tough skin. We're not offended by, we're not offended easily, and we're able to roll stuff off our shoulders. It has a lot to do with how you're raised.
Yes.
If you're coddled and you're protected as a child and you've never seen violence and you never heard arguing, well, yeah, things are gonna set you off and offend you.
You gotta go in a safe space.
Oh my God! Just hearing that word
Yeah.
puts me into a state of anxiety.
Rage.
The closet.
You know, like, yeah, let's bring you to a safe place. Why don't you just wrap your child in a bubble and then have them watch 8 hours of finger painting? That's
what they want to
really
do.
nice way to prepare.
But
But that's also why we like you, is because you say what we all
Are
are
thinking.
thinking and want to say, but we can't.
yes.
Yeah, no, you can.
We can.
We can.
Yeah. You can.
I mean, I would like it if more people did, so I don't look like, you know, the
Yeah.
heroic warrior, you know, because I get all the emails. I mean, people, you got to say some of the emails. Oh my, who the hell told you you are able to speak your mind regardless of what people say? I go, the country I live in, you idiot.
Yeah.
I'm like, did you just email me and say whatever you wanted to say, regardless of how I feel?
Mm-hmm.
It's just listen. This country right now is totally upside down. The whole world in general.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
it
think
is.
you have people that wake up and they want to find something wrong with their day.
Yeah.
I choose to wake up and enjoy my day, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that I don't even raise my kids to bite their tongue. I tell my daughter, say whatever you want to say. Like, I have a video out. I think she's got like 3 million views on Facebook.
Wow.
Where she's in my bedroom and she came in to yell at me because I was raising my voice. I had a deadline to do a video for an advertising company, and it was just one of those days with the kids, and I yelled from the basement. I'm like, "Can you guys disappear?" And I went upstairs, and then she comes in the bedroom and she yells at me. And she's a 4-year-old girl at the time, and she's like, "Daddy, you're mommy's husband, you're my father, you're Nona's son." Like, she went down the whole family tree as if I didn't know who I was. And then she goes, you can't yell, you just gotta calm it down."
Oh.
And then at the end of the video, I said, "Well, why do you yell?" And she goes, "Well, I yell because when people yell, it makes me mad." You have to see how many people, how dare this little girl talk to her father this way? This is disrespectful. I'm like, she's telling me.
Yeah.
She's raising me.
Yeah.
Calming you down and bringing you back.
Right.
You know?
And listen, I always say it. I'm on an 80-20 split. 80% of the people that follow me, that are my fans, are my type of people. 20% shouldn't be allowed out of the house without supervision. So I'm okay with that. 8 out of 10, I'm good with.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you sometimes pay attention more to the negative comments. And then, you know, I tell them, listen, I've got a little girl. I'm going to raise that little girl to be an outspoken, strongly opinionated, strong woman that's not going to ever think that she has to worry about someone's opinion based on her opinions to speak. So I tell her, Gabriella, speak. If it offends somebody, well, then that person might want to listen to something else. But don't ever hold back from saying something. Now, if you're going to sit there and curse me and mommy out, you know, I mean, your ass is going to be pretty
Getting the
red.
spoon.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're getting a wooden spoon. You're getting the shoe. You're not old enough for the broom and the belt yet. You have to graduate into those weapons. But, you know, it's like, and my parents raised me the same way. And listen, I'm not going to say I'm normal, but I don't want to be.
No.
You know, I don't think anybody wants to be normal. I mean, normal is boring.
Yeah, absolutely.
Normal can be a little scary, as I'm seeing these people who think they're normal. It's a little scary.
You know, that's a great point. I'm scared more of a normal person. Like, if I see a person come to my show and they just come up monotone, "Hey, what's up? I really liked your show. Can I have an autograph?" I'm calling security.
Yeah.
I'm going to profile you as a serial killer, and I'm calling security.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I want the weird and the abnormal.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you know if masks are needed at the show, or?
I would probably guess no, because
We're in our
you're going to
cars,
be in
right?
your car.
Yeah.
You can also, I believe, sit outside your car, weather permitted. I think it's going to be nice. You sit outside your car with lawn chairs and stuff. I'm not there. There are no masks at any of my other shows. Some of them are implementing it. When you walk in, you have to wear a mask, but when you sit down, you're fine. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you know,
I would-
COVID's very smart. It knows when you
Are
know,
standing.
when you're where you're sitting.
And yeah.
COVID is genius. That's another thing that's going on right now. It's so crazy where, you know, you've got the unvaccinated yelling at the vaccinated yelling at the. It's like, guys, do whatever you think is best for you and your family.
Mhm.
Like Goomba Johnny's vaccinated. My parents are vaccinated. Do I go up to them and tease them?
No.
Do I ridicule? No. Now, I had the virus. My whole family did. My wife, my kids got it. Even my daughter got it. I don't know if my son had it. My daughter had it. We got it. We got over it in 3 days. Thank God. You
Yeah.
know, we're pretty healthy. Now we have the antibodies. I've gotten 4 doctors telling me, hey, listen, don't get the shot. You don't need it yet. You still have antibodies. You know, and then with me, it's like, okay, my choice is if once it gets FDA fully approved, I'll think about it.
Yeah,
Just like all the
exactly.
other vaccines I got. You know, you can't call me an anti-vaxxer. I hate that word because I've gotten vaccines. My daughter's gotten vaccines. The difference is those are fully FDA approved, and that's what I look at. So if I'm doing that and I'm not directly like they're like, well, you're gonna be dangerous for other people. No, I don't even like people. I don't even want to go near people. 90% I can't stand people. I'm not coming near you, and you're not coming near me.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like, do whatever you need to do for your family, what's best for you. Don't think about what's best for the country. You're not a savior of all. You know, I'm saving the country. What is the last time you did anything based on the human race?
No,
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
not. They're
Yeah.
not. They're doing it because they're
it's
scared.
Exactly. And when the media and everything else manipulates people based on fear, you're not making logical, decisions based on fear. So it's like, then I have my next door neighbor. The guy's like, I'm really against you not being vaccinated because, you should really be healthy. And I'm like, dude, you're 412 pounds. You have 9 chins. When has healthy been a concern of yours before? I've literally had you at my house for a barbecue and had to go out and buy more burgers because you had 9. And I told you, Rich, you got to slow down, dude. You got oil dripping all over your neck. And you didn't care. And now all of a sudden, you want to tell me how to be healthy. Why don't you come with me on a jog? Why don't you jog with me? It's just, people are so, and you're always going to piss somebody off. So you know what? I've accepted it. I'm going to piss people off. And those people just can't be reasoned with. It's, at the end of the day, comedy, whether I'm talking about a sensitive topic or a generic topic, comedy is supposed to be an escape from what you're going through in life. You're supposed to escape from the reality, laugh, and then go back to the reality with a smile on your face or feeling a little better about yourself.
Yeah.
What I can't stand is when people get offended at comedy. And the reason why, and I realize this, for the most part, the reason why people get offended by comedy is because they're taking comedy as an attack, a personal attack on either them or somebody they know. Now, I guarantee you, somebody's going to listen to this and go, oh, my God, he's fat-shaming his next-door neighbor. No, I'm being observant that the guy has swallowed 9 cheeseburgers with no thought of health and now yells at me because I don't have a shot because I have antibodies. That's my observation.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, I cannot stand it.
Yeah, it's.
Can't stand it.
I think it's. I always say to my husband, I'm like, the common sense is just it's out the door.
It's out the window. Yeah.
It's gone, and
Common sense. I think that went out like 2015.
yeah, you're right.
I think it was 6 years past common sense. It's just, at the end of the day, I always tell my kids, I tell my wife, I'm going to look at both sides. I'm not going to go biased on one side. I'm not going to go biased on another. I'm going to look at both sides. And if there are strong arguments defending both sides, well, then at the end of the day, I need to do what I'm comfortable with. So, you listen, for anybody to say, no, the media is not biased. Really, social media, when this pandemic hit, and I was just making generic videos to make people laugh, I was getting 70,000 followers a week. and my videos were hitting 1 million views in a day.
Wow.
Now I'm lucky if my videos hit 150,000 views. And there are people that message me, I haven't seen your video in 6 months. So it's like, if your opinion is against the grain, they're going to stop your opinion from getting out there as much as they can.
Yeah.
Same thing with another. If somebody comes out and says, they say, believe the science, believe the doctors. Well, there have been scientists and doctors that came out and said, well, this is why I don't think the vaccine.
They don't matter. They don't matter.
They don't matter. They're lying.
They silence them. And you know what? Play them just like you're playing the other doctors that are agreeing with it. You have to but at the end of the day, I don't want everyone agreeing with me, because I'm never going to learn to either think outside the box. I'm not going to learn, maybe I was wrong, and there are the people out there that if you simply disagree with them when it comes to either the vaccine or the pandemic or politics, you're not allowed to have your own opinion, and they will alienate you for them. And you know what? I tell everyone, I tell my daughter, if someone is not going to be friends with you because you share a difference of opinion, now, obviously, because everyone goes, well, what if we're talking about like child pornography? Well, obviously that's
we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
And if I come to your house and I disagree with it, and you're sitting there and you got your computer opened up, and I'm like, what is that? And you're like, child porn. Why, you don't dabble? And I'm like, no. Obviously, that opinion that we share a difference with, that's enough for me not to talk to you.
Yeah.
Or if you have like a bunch of rabbits and kittens in your backyard, I'm like, hey, what are you doing? We do a Friday sacrificing kittens. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Yes, if it's that dramatic, don't talk to that person and report them. But if it's like politics or of different views, and they're not views that harm people or that are like racist and stuff like that, you don't have to stop talking to each other. You guys can go, hey, what are you? I'm a Republican. Well, I'm a Democrat. Oh, great. You want to go get a drink? Yeah. You can drink with people that share different opinions.
Yes.
It's sickening. Everybody wants to just be around their own people, and those are the same people.
Yeah.
They're the same people that preach, oh my God, this country is so divided and it's disgusting. You just stop following me because I came out with a video about Cuomo and you love him. You're talking about divide? Well, yeah, because you're supposed to agree with me. That's how we can come together.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I'm talking to my wife. No, I don't want to agree with you.
I 100% feel you on that.
Yeah.
I've lost family and friends over just differing opinions, and I'm like, it's not me doing it. I'm like, why don't you talk to me?
Correct.
Well, it's horrible. It really is.
It's insane. I mean, just think about that. You're an American. Let's say you vote for something that you want or somebody that you want. Imagine going to like the polls and the guy peeks over your shoulder and goes, who you voting for? Someone different. You should go to hell. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. I thought that was like, come on. It's just, it's not a serious thing. In terms of not talking to somebody, at the end of the day, judge the person based on the person, not on their views. Like, listen, my views, to a certain extent define me as a person, but it doesn't, like, just because you think one way or another way doesn't make you a douchebag. Like, it doesn't make you an evil person.
Right.
So it's like, let the person, if you're getting along with, I love when somebody will go, I followed you for 2 years. You make me laugh. You've helped me through the pandemic. You've made me laugh so much that at times I forget what I'm going through. But because I don't like this particular video and I kind of see where your views are at with this particular topic, I'm no longer supporting you, nor am I following you. And I'm like, do you do that all, like, your whole life, that once you stop liking one thing, you just alienate it regardless of all the positivity it brought you?
Yeah.
Like, if you go to a restaurant for 9 years and you have one Diet Coke that's flat, do you go, you know what, this place sucks. That's it. I don't care how good the steak is or how good the ice cream is. That's it. I'm done. They messed up my diet. I don't drink flat Diet Coke. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen,
people are like that,
because I could actually vent on stage about all this.
I know, that's good. I wish I could. I'm gonna go to do something like that.
Do it. It's so good. It's positive therapy.
Even right now, I feel so good talking to somebody about it.
It's like refreshing.
People
because
are like, "What made you do comedy?" I'm like, "No one lets me talk at home." So I want to get on stage and be able to vent without people interrupting me or giving me a floodlight to put up above the garage.
Get out of the house.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
we try to keep it neutral here, but I mean, I think our listeners know our opinions by now.
Yes. Especially me.
Yeah, it's really refreshing to be able to relate to somebody and be able to have an open conversation
With no judgment.
With no judgment on the show.
And again, I've spoken to people that share, I've done interviews where the person that has the podcast, whatever, shares an absolute different opinion. And I'm like, dude, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then they get really weird. I'm like, you don't have to be weird. You don't I'm having a good time with the interview. You don't have to agree with me. And I don't judge. I don't, all I ask for is if we're having a discussion and you're like, yeah, I disagree. I'm like, okay, why? Just why? And then a lot of times they're like, don't talk to me like that. And I'm like, well, you're asking me why. I asked you why also.
Because they can't answer.
Exactly. A lot of times they don't even know why they feel a certain way. And, I have friends of mine that are on total different sides of the spectrum when it comes to everything. And some of us, we're just able to have a beer and talk about it. And then I'm like, yeah, I kind of see your point with that. I understand where you're coming from. And we have to try to get back to having discussions. We can't just alienate somebody because they disagree. And then I get people that, I can see what side of the political fence you stand on. I'm like, really? I thought my fence was covered. It has a hole in it? I'm like, well, what the hell I'm a comedian. Why does my politics have to do with anything? You know what I mean? It shouldn't be a question. Why can't I just have them and that's it? And then pay attention to my comedy. I'm not a political correspondent. I'm not someone that's on CNN or Fox News coming out, and I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
And they like one guy, I figured you out. I've watched 19 of your videos and I could see where you lean. I'm like, you sat there and investigated? You called me. I would have told you.
It's a sickness.
Yeah.
And then my agent, he's like, listen, man, you got to be careful how you speak. You have to walk in the middle. Because I said, dude, let me explain something to you. I share a lot of different opinions. Okay. Like my opinion, if you're far right or far left, I can't have a conversation with you. You're too far.
Yeah.
However, I share a lot of different opinions that, yes, you can possibly say, oh, he leans this way, he leans that way. I'm not going to hide some places won't book you. Good. I said, here's the thing. Social media can block me as much as they want. They can try to censor me and silence me. One thing that social media, the news, they'll never be able to do. You're never going to be able to stop my fans from coming to shows.
Yes.
You're not. What are you going to do? Go to their house and put a barricade in front of their driveway? You're not going to stop them from coming to shows. And at the end of the day, the live shows are what I love doing the most, and that's not going to stop. And the more I do them, the more people are organically going to speak, like they did back in the 90s and the 80s, before social media, where you call someone else on the house phone. Hey, I went to go see this guy. It was hilarious. You should go. And then word of mouth. Now, yes, you'll build yourself up a little slower, but it'll be organic. And my fan base has become so rabid that, they're such great supporters and they're loyal. That's what I want. So you could stop me from saying it on every platform. You can't stop people from going out and enjoying and supporting what they want to support and who they want to watch. Yeah. At the end of the day, I want all types of fans. I don't want just one type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sad that people, they live their life like that. They only want to be surrounded by one type of person, and that's so narrow-minded.
Yeah, like you said, they'll never learn. And when there's no discussion, when there's no difference, when there's no questioning of something, then you're never going to see another side to it. And that's very important.
Like, I have a 2-year-old son. If my 2-year-old son picks up a red marker and starts going, blue, and I go, yeah, you're right, that's blue. And nobody corrects him and nobody disagrees with him. The kid's going to be in high school. And he's like, yeah, my favorite color is blue. And everyone's like, no, jackass, that's red. Like, you're going to eventually learn that people are going to disagree with you. It's okay.
Yeah.
But if you think that everybody, follows what you're feeling and thinking, and then you just go on life like that, I mean, there are times you're going to be wrong, and no one's going to be there to tell you because you hang out with everyone that shares the same exact view.
Yeah.
It's not. Sometimes I like being told that I'm wrong. I like learning. I like looking into different things that maybe if a friend of mine or a family member wouldn't have brought to my attention, I would have never researched it for myself. So yeah, I mean, disagreeing is healthy. I mean, it could be good. Now, again, disagreeing with respect. I mean, there are certain people that just, I hope you go to hell. I'm like, why? Because I like pistachio ice cream. All right, I'm sorry. Okay? Sorry. I enjoy it also. Maybe I should have got a scoop of pistachio before I did the vanilla. I apologize. There are some people that just get triggered for no reason.
They're nasty.
Absolutely.
All right.
I mean, my husband's a police officer, and you should hear the horrible, horrible things people have said to
They
me.
have
And
the
it's
hardest
just,
jobs right now.
yeah.
I've got family on the job, and I always said it growing up. And again, I come from an old school, Italian household. But just observing for myself, 3 jobs that should never be disrespected or you should never take away from are police officers, firefighters, and teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is those 3 jobs, those people wake up every day. They go to work for strangers. They go to work to benefit strangers. Police officers and firefighters, they're saving strangers.
Yeah.
Teachers, they're teaching kids that aren't even theirs. I hate kids. I love kids as a parent, but I hate kids as a person. You know what I mean? Like, I love my children to death. Yes, their kids have such cute moments, but they're also little evil packages walking around all the time. I would hate to go to school and teach other people's kids. My sister's a teacher. The girl's so high-strung, she's going to snap like a rubber band. She's like, I swear to God, I see one more kid eating a booger. I'm like, no one told you to be a teacher. I mean, come work for me. Quit your job. Leave these kids. They're not yours. And it's crazy, man. It's teachers, firefighters, and police officers. I have so much respect for them. And people, I proudly say it online, and people go, oh, I know what side you stand on. Yeah. Decent human being.
Decent human.
It's common sense. Have someone break into your house. Who are you going to call, a social worker?
Yep, that's what they want.
Speak to this person. He has a gun and looks like he's going to use it. I think if you level with him and show him a lot of, like, maybe you have like
give him a hug.
Oil-based colors, maybe bright oil-based colors. Like, I think he's a colorful person if he just allows himself to shut up. Call the cops. Like, what are you doing?
I think that, the people that are against cops right now, if their house was broken into,
they're the first to call.
They're the first to call.
100% they're calling. They have phone calls of people that are in large areas where, defunding the police is popular. And yes, they've called the cops. I mean, let me be a police officer in an area that's against me, where I go to work every day and I get screamed at. Let me get a phone call. There's a breaking at 17 Prospect. Yeah, I'll get to it.
I'm telling you right now, that's what's going on.
I'm in the middle of a Candy Crush board. Once I beat this board, I'll be happy to go check it out. I mean, it's like...
That's what's going to be happening, honestly.
100%.
Yep.
And you know what? It's sad, but this country is kind of unraveling at the seams, and you can see it. And the one thing I can't stand is when people either blame politicians or the media, social media for, the divide, whether it's, people on either side. At the end of the day, nobody is going to tell me who I get along with and who I don't get along with.
Mm-hmm.
If you respect me as a human being, I'm going to show you the same respect and decency. And if you disrespect me, I don't care if you're a family member. I'm going to disrespect you twice as hard.
Yeah.
Like I always tell people online, you want to come and attack me verbally? You want to be a little keyboard warrior? That's fine. But I'm very creative and I'm very witty. So what I do is I go right to your profile picture, and you better pray to God you look like a supermodel, because I'm attacking every flaw on your picture. And what I don't understand is 90% of people that get offended and bothered, every time I go to the profile picture, it's a cat. And I don't know if that says a lot about cat lovers, but a lot of times it's not even their cat. It's like a Googled cat. Who Googles a cat?
And puts
it as a profile picture. It's not even your cat. That cat could be dead by now. That could be a picture from like 85. It's just, I mean, people right now, somebody will verbally attack you. You go back at them, and they become the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yes.
I get it all the time. How dare you talk to me like that? I'm like, you just came at me and said I had feminine eyelashes and an oversized head.
Oh, my God.
Like, I didn't say anything to you. You said it to me. Yeah, but you should be able to accept all criticism. That's not criticism. What are you telling me? I should shave down my eyelashes and
You can give them to me.
size my head? Would you like me to go into an air pressure chamber? I can't stand it. So like one lady said that, she goes, "You have an oversized head and feminine eyelashes." I go, "You have 4 chins and some mark on the side of your face that looks like burnt oil." And she's like, "Oh, you're disgusting. You're a disgusting human being." I'm like,
How
"You're
dare
gonna break
you?"
my
Yeah.
balls. I'm breaking yours. I mean, bottom line. I mean, just everyone needs to toughen up.
I know.
It's not that serious. Life is going to be over before you know it. Start laughing a little more and stop being so miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. That's
crazy.
why we need to go to your show and laugh.
Yes, we do.
It's therapy.
Yep.
I'm gonna start. I figure if I'm gonna think about doing something where you come to the show, you pay for the show. If the show was like very like people come up to me after the show, and some people they're like, "I needed this. I feel so much better." If I feel like my show was therapy, I'm sending you an invoice at the house. I should get paid hourly therapist rates because one lady came to my show and she's like, "I think you cured my husband's depression."
Oh.
And I'm like, "I don't think your husband was depressed. I think he just didn't want to talk to you."
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't cure depression.
I mean,
But,
for the day, yeah. I mean,
For that hour.
It is therapeutic.
Yes.
And wow, I told my wife that I'm in the middle of an interview, and she actually like poked her head around the wall in the basement. She's like, "Can I come down?"
She can come down.
She can come down.
She can come on air.
I'm not. I don't feel safe right now. Whenever my wife asks permission for anything, I must have did something wrong. And she's acting nice now. I'm in the middle of an interview. I'm in an interview. Now she doesn't believe that I'm in an interview. You see what happens? Now I didn't take it serious enough.
Oh, oops.
Yeah. All right. Can you not yell at me during this interview, please? Very embarrassing. Did you see it? It's not an interview. It's an interview.
It's an interview.
It sounds like my mother.
Yeah.
You know, my mom comes in, we're doing the show, and she starts yelling at me for something, and I'm like, "Do you want to come on air?" And she's like, "You're not on air."
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Let me play it back for you.
On air, they're like, "No, I don't want to be a part of it." You were. You
Yeah.
were a part of it. You just didn't know you were a part of it. You didn't
Yep.
believe
She's in the interview now, right?
it. Ah.
Well, but I appreciate you coming on the show. It was really,
Yes.
really amazing talking to you. We love you.
Yeah, not a problem. I mean, I'm heading upstairs now. I got my daughter yelling, and we're taking a 2.5-hour ride to Villa Roma. I've got a show tomorrow, and then I've got a busy weekend of Pennsylvania, Jersey, and then Middletown to end the weekend.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
I'll have a lot more material.
Villa Roma, isn't that near us?
Calicoon.
Yeah. That's by us.
Yeah.
So kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Sullivan County.
Yeah, it's basically in a nutshell. It's like a bus that is able to hold about 3,000 people. Went to every borough, Jersey, just tried to pick up as many Italians in the Northeast as possible. And then while they were driving around with them, they said, "Where can we drop them off where they won't hear them arguing with their kids and they won't smell all the Jakar cologne?" And they said, "Drop them in the middle of the woods in Calicoon. There's a resort there." And that's exactly what, I mean, you walk around the pool. I mean, every guy has jean shorts on with a sleeveless T-shirt.
God. The
4
gold chain.
a tattoo on their calf muscle of Mickey Mouse holding an Italian flag that absolutely means nothing. I don't know what
I don't know what.
Right, a cartoon character with an Italian flag and a cannoli. And it's the funniest place. Every time I perform there 5 Thursdays in the summer, and I have 25-30 minutes of new material every time I open up the show because I sit down by the pool
And you just watch.
I look like a lighthouse. My head's on a swivel, and my wife's like, "Get in the pool." I'm like, "I can't. This lady's about to kill her 6-year-old kid. I'm gonna watch it." But it's definitely fun. But yeah, I have a 2.5-hour ride up there now where gonna lose it. So.
Yeah, with the kids. But
Welcome to the middle of nowhere.
we can't wait to see you. And everybody, they can still buy tickets, right? Or
Yeah, I
absolutely,
think tickets are still on sale.
I'm going to update my site, but I think they're on rodiacomedy.com, or they go to the Fair Oaks Drive-In in Middletown. And, tickets are still available.
Awesome. And that's August 22nd at 8 p.m., right?
Yep. This
All right.
Sunday.
Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Anthony. We love talking to you.
My pleasure. It's fun.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, I'll see you guys Sunday.